Garden of Abdul Gasazi by Chris Van Allsburg. Okay, make sure you're muted, please. 6 times Miss Hester's dog Fritz had bitten dear cousin Eunice. So when Miss Hester received an invitation to visit Eunice, she was not surprised to read, P.S. Please leave your dog home. On the day of her visit, Miss Hester asked young Alan Mitz to stay with Fritz and give him his afternoon walk. As soon as Miss Hester left, Fritz ran into the parlor. He loved to chew on the chairs and shake the stuffing out of the pillows, but Alan was ready. All morning long, he kept Fritz from sinking his sharp little teeth into the furniture. Finally, the dog gave up and fell asleep. Exhausted. Alan took a nap too, but first he hid his hat under his shirt. Hats being one of Fritz's favorite things to chew. Little doggy nose. What's a parlor, guys? What do they mean by like a parlor? Anybody have any idea? You just unmute yourself and say it if you know. Look at the clues by the pictures.
Like a living room?
Kind of like a living room, yeah. Like a living room. Sometimes you might call it like a formal living room if like your parents have kind of a nicer sitting room, that type of thing. But like a living room, just a little couch and chair. Doesn't usually have a TV in it, just a smaller room for it. An hour later, Alan quickly awoke when Fritz gave him a bite on the nose. The bad-mannered dog was ready for his afternoon walk. Alan fastened Fritz's leash, and the dog dragged him out of the house. Walking along, they discovered a small white bridge at the side of the road. Alan decided to let Fritz lead the way across. Some distance beyond the bridge, Alan stopped to read a sign. It said, absolutely, positively, no dogs allowed in this garden. At the bottom was signed, Abdul Gasazi, retired magician. Behind the sign stood a vine-covered wall with an open doorway. Alan took the warning quite seriously. He turned to leave, but as he did, Fritz gave a tremendous tug and snapped right out of his collar. He bolted straight ahead through the open door, with Alan running right behind. Fritz, stop, you bad dog, cried Alan. Sorry, something's coming in. But the dog simply ignored him. Down shadowed paths and across sunlit lawns they raced, deeper and deeper into the garden. Finally, Alan drew close enough to grab hold of Fritz, but as he reached out, he slipped and fell. Fritz barked with laughter as he galloped out of sight. Alan slowly picked himself up. He knew he had to find Fritz before Mr. Gasazi discovered him. Bruised and tired, he hurried off in the dog's direction. After a long search, Alan was ready to give up. He was afraid he might never find Fritz. But then he came upon fresh dog prints. Slowly, he followed Fritz's tracks along a path that led into a forest. The dirt path ended and a brick wall began. There were no more tracks to follow, but Alan was certain that Fritz must be just ahead. Alan started running. In front of him, he could see a clearing in the forest. As he came dashing out of the woods, he stopped as quickly as if he had run up against a wall, for there, in front of him, stood a truly awesome sight. It was the house of Gasazi. Alan nervously climbed the great stairs, convinced Fritz had come this way and been captured. The boy's heart was pounding when he arrived at the huge door. He took a deep breath and reached for the bell, but before he touched it, the door swung open. There, in the shadow of the hallway, stood Gasazi the Great. "Greetings, "Do come in," was all that he said. Alan followed Gasazi into a large room. When the magician turned around, Alan quickly apologized for letting Fritz into the garden. He politely asked that if Mr. Gasazi had Fritz, would he please give him back. The magician listened carefully and then, smiling, said, "Certainly, you may have your little Fritzy. Follow me." With those words, he went to the door and led Alan back outside. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go into a breakout room. Okay, we have 18, so 17. Okay. So we're going to go into a breakout room. It's going to ask you to join. I'm only going to give you about 2 minutes. I want you to discuss what you think happened to the dog, and if he's going to give him back, if you don't think he's going to give him back, what happened. Okay, and remember, I can pop in on these rooms anytime.
Who watched me eat food?
Okay, 2 minutes. There you go. Join the breakout room.